of when we were together. Like when you said you felt so happy you could die. Told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But that was love and it's an ache I still remember. Addicted to a certain kind of sadness, like resignation to the end, always the end. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we would still be friends. But I'll admit that I was glad that it was over. You didn't have to cut me off, make out like you never happened. I know we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and that feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. Guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to Now and then I think of all the times you screwed me over. But I'm believing it was always something that I'd done. And I don't wanna live that way, reading into every word you say. You said that you could let it go, and I wouldn't catch you hung up on somebody that you used to know. But you didn't have to cut me off, make out like you never happened. I know we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and that feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. Guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Hush, don't speak. When you spit your venom, keep it shut. I hate it when you hiss and preach about your new messiah, 'cause your theories catch fire. I can't find your silver lining. I don't mean to judge, but when you read your speech, it's tiring. Enough is enough. I'm covering my ears like a kid. When your words mean nothing, I go la la la. I'm turning up the volume when you speak, 'cause if my heart can't stop it, I'll find a way to block it. I go I'll find a way to block it. I go a coward when our worlds collide. I'm gonna drown you out before I lose my mind. I can't find your silver lining. I don't mean to judge, but when you read your speech, it's tiring. Enough is enough. I'm covering my ears like a kid. When your words mean nothing, I go la la la. I'm turning up the volume when you speak, 'cause if my heart can't stop it, I'll find a way to block it. I go I'll find a way to block it. I go I'll find a way to block it. Find a way to block it, I go. I'm covering my ears like a kid. When your words mean nothing, I go la la la. I'm turning up the volume when you speak, 'cause if my heart can't stop it, I'll find a way to block it. I go covering my ears like a kid. When your words mean nothing, I go la la la. I'm turning up the volume when you speak, 'cause if my heart can't stop it, I'll find a way to block it. I go not trying to be indie, not trying to be cool, just trying to be in this. Tell me, are you too? Can you feel where the wind is? Can you feel it through all of the windows inside this room? 'Cause I wanna touch you, baby, and I wanna feel.
Or vaping allowed on the boat. As well, I ask that you please remain seated with your arms and legs well within the boat at all times. Today, we'll be seeing a variety of primates from around the world. During the winter months, these primates are housed in heated barns on the property, as they are sensitive to the cold. Unfortunately, the survival of many animals, especially the primates, is threatened by widespread habitat destruction, hunting, and the rapid escalation of the human encroachment on their remaining habitats. Now, if this trend continues, it may only be through responsible and cooperative captive breeding efforts that some of these species ultimately survive. So please keep this in mind as we tour around the lake and view a variety of different species. For example, coming up on our right-hand side on this island is home to our ring-tailed lemurs. Now, the ring-tailed lemurs are the most striking of the lemur species, and they can only be found on the island of Madagascar. They have a black and white barred tail with 12 to 14 stripes on it that always end in a black tip. Now, the ring-tailed lemurs have a reflective layer behind the retina of their eye, and this enhances their night vision. They spend much of their time traveling on the ground in groups of 10 to 30 individuals and are very female dominated. Now, their legs are considerably longer than their arms, and this enables them to leap 9.5 feet vertically in a single bound. Now, to keep warm and really as a form of social bonding, they will group together in a huddle. However, we often see them lying belly up with their arms and legs wide open, sunning themselves. Now, as of 2017, the population in the wild is believed to have dropped to as low as 2,000 individuals due to hunting, poaching, and habitat loss, making them even more critically endangered. In the wild, the ring-tailed lemurs can live 15 years, but in African lion safari and in conservation areas like African lion safari, they can live up to 30. Now, you may notice we have had a couple of babies, actually 3 of them, born here this spring. 2 of them are actually twins. Now off to our right-hand side on this other island, if you look straight ahead kind of under that tree, you can see Beaver. He is our black-handed spider monkey. He's a rustic reddish-brown color. And we also have a robust black spider monkey, and I believe he's sitting in that little window in the shed. He's black from head to toe, so it's a little hard to see him. And his name is Flip. Now both spider monkeys are especially adapted to life in the trees, having long, slender limbs and a prehensile tail that actually acts as a fifth limb. Their prehensile tail actually has a patch of skin near the tip with grooves like a fingerprint, which enhances their ability to grasp branches. Now their hands do lack thumbs, and this enables them to go through the trees with speed and agility in search of their diet of leaves and fruit. Now spider monkeys can be found throughout Panama, Ecuador, and Mexico. Should they display themselves in an aggressive manner, they'll make the hair on their shoulders, neck, and the base of their tail stand up, and this makes them appear larger in size. We'll go around the other side, see if we can get a little better look at Flip. Now when they do go in the tree, you'll be able to see how they get their name Spider Monkey. They are a little cuter than a spider though, in my books.
Flip is running away.
Flip's being shiny. Now the lake we are traveling on is a natural spring-fed lake with man-made islands. It is home to 4 species of fish that include large and smallmouth bass, sunfish, and catfish. There's also some snakes, some frogs, some painted turtles, and a few muskrats in the water. The deepest part of the lake is about 7 feet deep, and that's near the center. Most of the area the boat travels on is about 4 to 4.5 feet deep. Now on this little island to our right that I'm going to go around, on the ground there you can see our pink-backed pelican, Pinky. The pink-backed pelicans are the smallest of the 8 pelican species. However, they do have an impressive 8-foot wingspan.
I like that.
Now the main food of a pelican is fish, and they will fish in a group, forming a line around a school of fish. And then they'll all dump their heads under the water at the same time, frightening and confusing the fish, which they then scoop up in their pouches. They then shake the water out of the end of their beak to swallow the fish whole. Now with small but strong legs and 4 webbed toes, the pink-backed pelicans are very good swimmers. Now also on the shed there, you can see our black and white ruffed lemurs. Now they can be found on the east coast of the island of Madagascar. And they get their name from the fur on their ears, which form a ruff around their face. Now we often see them hanging upside down by their feet in order to feed on their diet of fruit, seeds, leaves, and nectar. In the wild, they live in groups of 5 to 16 individuals and are very territorial. Now these lemurs are the largest of them to give birth to multiple infants, usually 2 or 3. However, when the infants are born, they're very immature and unable to cling to their mothers like the ringtail lemurs, so they're actually left in the nest and carried around by mouth for the first 2 to 3 weeks of life. Now, these lemurs are noted for their loud alarm call. Also coming up on this island in front of us, and soon to be on our right-hand side, is our home to our white-handed gibbons. Now, the gibbons are native to Southeast Asia and belong to a group of primates known as lesser apes. They can vary in color from light beige to black, but they always have a white ring or white ring around their face and white hands and feet.
Tarantula. Look at the monkey.
Now, with hook-like hands and short thumbs and a compact body with no tail and long arms, they have developed
Nice.
different for life in the trees. Let's say the spider monkeys. They live in a family group consisting of a monogamous pair and their offspring. Now, they are famous for their great call that's used as a territorial display in which both members of the pair participate. The gibbon's gestation period is about 7 months. However, the babies do grow slowly and are usually not weaned until 2 years of age. I just have to straighten out and get a little past Number 2 that we have here today are Now, as we do approach the docking area, I again ask that you please remain seated with your arms and legs well within the boat until the boat has come to a full and complete stop and securely attached to the docking area. Once the gates are open, you're welcome to stand and exit towards the right-hand side. Now, should you have any questions about the tour or safari in general, I'd be happy to try and answer them for you. I would like to thank you for coming to African Lion Safari today, and hope you have a wild day here on Safari. Now, this is a bump dock.
There's no eating, drinking, smoking, or vaping on the train, with the exception of water. As well as ask that you please remain seated with your arms and legs well within the train carriage at all times. We are about to enter a 40-acre reserve consisting mostly of open woodland. It serves as a natural refuge for many wild animals and birds native to southern Ontario. Predominant vegetation in this area include willow, ash, elm, poplar, and a large sheltering white pine forest. The Nature Boy Scenic Railway is intended as a scenic ride only and not as an animal display. Therefore, it will only be by chance that the animals are seen. So keep your eyes open and your cameras ready. The train you're riding on is being pulled by a miniature replica of an 1863 C.P. Huntington steam engine. The original engine played an important role in building the western portion of the Transcontinental Railroad from 1864 to 1869. Today, the original engine stands in front of the railroad station in Sacramento, California, as a symbol of an engineering marvel of over 100 years ago. For anyone wearing a hat today, please remove it or make sure it is secure, as we will be picking up winds with speed. introduced in North America and is easily recognized by their brown body plumage, black heads and neck, and prominent white cheek patch. Every spring, approximately 100 breeding pairs migrate to African lion safari from their wintering grounds in the southern United States. Side on the island, there you'll see a great blue heron. They are one of the most common types of wading birds in this part of Ontario. Herons are excellent fishermen and will feed on frogs, snakes, small rodents, and fish. As we round this corner, you're going to see a large building, and it is the state-of-the-art elephant facility designed to house the park's herd of Asian elephants. The 18,000 square foot facility features a computer-controlled ventilation system, heated floors, and natural lighting. A laboratory and research center within the facility enables our staff to continue their efforts in maintaining one of North America's most successful breeding programs for this endangered species. African Lion Safari is the founding member of the International Elephant Foundation, accredited by CASA, which supports conservation, education, and research worldwide. Through their passion, expertise, knowledge, and partnerships, they inspire and engage people to ensure a vibrant future with elephants everywhere. Now on our right-hand side, you will see a few of our elephants. Sometimes you'll see them throwing hair or dirt on top of their backs. This is because their skin is very delicate and it helps protect from the sun. Elephants can weigh up to 10,000 pounds. Through these trees here on the right hand side, you may be able to see the elephant lookout. Once the train tour is done, you can head off to the right hand side and down to the elephant lookout where you can view more elephants. Inside here, you'll also see several painted turtles on logs. They love the sunbathe on the logs. Fun fact about them, in the warmer weather, they're generally born female. We're now approaching the end of the tour, and I ask that you please remain seated until the train has come to a full and complete stop. Once you've exited the train, the path leading off to the right is the gateway to the show area, including Parrot Paradise Show, Birds of Prey, and Wild Wonders. Should you have any questions about the tour and safari in general, I'd be happy to try to answer them for you. Thank you for visiting us today, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of your stay here on safari.
You like it, Colin?
be afraid. It's so nice. It's so sweet. Goat. Goat. Africa.
Evan, you want to see what's in here? Here, Evan.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to our Parrot Paradise Amphitheater. How's everyone's morning been on safari? Awesome. Are you guys ready to meet some really cool birds? Yeah! All right. Well, we do have a variety of bird species we'd love to introduce you to. We are at Parrot Paradise, so we'll be meeting a lot of beautiful birds like Fever here, our scarlet macaw, which is a member of the parrot family. But as you might have noticed throughout our introduction, we will also have a variety of other birds. And not nice and close, you're probably thinking it's an awful lot like a toucan. You are absolutely correct. This is a smaller member of the toucan family, also known as a toucan. And it thrives to this day, that hunting season, but so do turkeys. They figure there's probably about 100,000 of them living in our province with us. Has anyone ever seen one in the wild? Lovely to see the successes of that program. Now they're often seen in farmers' fields, one of the ambassadors of our program. This was one of the very first blue-throated macaws to hatch here at the park back in 2018. Her name is Benny. And the blue-throated macaw is, in fact, one of the most endangered macaws living in the wild today. They are a critically endangered species. You can only find them living in Bolivia. Their numbers there are ranging under 500 individuals. Put that into a bit of perspective, there are more of you sitting in our audience today than there are of her wild counterparts. So here's African Lion Star. We've joined partnerships with the World Parrot Trust, an organization that focuses conservation efforts on parrots in the wild. Now there is only one reason we are able to do work like this. Each and every one of you woke up today, joined us on safari, and became conservationists with us. We appreciate it, Benny does, and I know the people of Bolivia do as well. So please give yourselves a big round of applause. All right, with all that serious stuff behind us, we can have some fun now at these beautiful birds. So we have Benny already ready up nice and close to her body weight. Saves them a little energy as they climb from tree to tree instead of flying from tree to tree. Now, of course, in flight, they are a beautiful sight. Certainly one of the most beautiful sights, 60 kilometers per hour. Now, that is as fast as we are driving through the towns and the cities that we live in. But there's no steering wheel on board. So how are they going about doing that? Well, they have that great big long tail behind them. They shift it from side to change directions, and they can even fan it out to slow themselves down to put on the brakes for a nice, safe landing. Now, Benny and Fever have done an excellent job showcasing these features today, so let's use the blue shadows of the rainforest and, of course, the beautiful fruit that find growing in the trees. But parrots do live in a wide variety of different habitats, and they also come in a wide variety of different colors. Now, next up, all parrots have zygodactyl toes. What exactly does that mean? Well, they are about to show you. Have a look at their feet. They have 2 toes that go up, 2 toes that go down. Most birds have 3 in the front and 1 in the back. That allows them an excellent grip on their perches and branches, even allows them to use their feet much like we would use our hands, especially when they're eating a larger treat. Have a look. Holding it in your foot, taking small bites, allows them to swallow those pieces back. Now you might notice a lefty and oh, we've got 2 lefties out here today. Fever's fooling us. She is our ambidextrous bird. She often will use her right foot instead. But unlike humans, parrots tend to be more predominantly left-footed than they are right-footed.
He does. This year is Reggie, and Reggie is our Timney parrot. He may be one of the smaller birds out here, but don't underestimate him, as his intelligence can be compared to a 5-year-old child. African Greys are keen learners throughout their lives and have been known to learn up to 1,500 words. Now Reggie here knows nowhere near 1,500 hello from Reggie. Their ability to learn how to speak makes them a desired pet for many people. However, the methods used in capturing them for the global pet trade causes a significant decrease in African Grey wild populations. The practices used are often harsh, dangerous, and inhumane, which unfortunately means that up to half the parrots trapped do not survive the journey. Now the good news is that there are organizations that work with government bodies to help tackle the illegal capture and trade of these parrots, and not only do we find this pretty exciting, but so does Reggie. A very excited bird. Let's see if he has anything else to add for us here today. A sweet goodbye from Reggie. He's done an amazing job for us out here, so let's show him some love.
Well, found all the way on the other side of the world in Australia, Indonesia, and surrounding islands are members of the parrot family known as cockatoos. Now, there's 21 different species. Up front here we have an umbrella cockatoo. Her name. Now they race in on wing, but they actually prefer to run along the ground, as they are found wandering the plains of Africa on foot.
So did her mother in the early 90s. To you and I, flying may seem like a whole lot of fun, but for birds it is actually a means of survival. Whether they are foraging for food, seeking shelter, now 3, 2, 1, take off! Watch how she uses that tail, fanning it out for the brakes. And that's another safe landing. Give it up for FIFA. Talking, I heard it. Yeah, that's right. Most people think it is the larger species, such as the macaws, that are the expert talkers, but it's actually the smaller species, such as the Amazons and African Greys. Joining us here today, these stars of our presentation are Wasabi, our yellow French.
Very cheerful. Also, Wasabi is a pretty polite little bird. Has a question to ask you all. Very nice. How are you? I see some lovely smiles out there. Now, these two do in fact like to introduce themselves by saying their own names. Spicy Wasabi, and Fernando, well, he likes to use his nickname, Nando. Also likes to hear himself sing it out loud. Well, parrots are playful by nature, and of course, these two are no exception to any rule. They have a favorite game they like to play with us. I think you guys might know this one. Love to be tickled. And of course, when tickled, they laugh. Not sure why his laugh is so evil. Now, master of sound effects, we have right here Fernando with a few in store. First off, us drinking a cold glass of water.
Wow.
Stay nice and hydrated. Of course, when sick, we cough in. Well, apparently that was quite interesting. But he's worked on some animal sound effects. This is Fernando's impersonation of a pig. A little rude on that one. We're not done yet. He barks like a dog.
Like a puppy.
Not sure who he thinks he's going to scare with that yappy little bark. Well, this one's contribution to all of this is simply just a kiss to show his appreciation for all of you here today. Very kind, Wasabi. And of course, his favorite holiday happens to be Christmas time. So, Wasabi's worked very hard to learn to say this, quite the mouthful. A little bit mumbly, but he's trying his best. Tell everybody, what does Santa say? best of Little Green. Now they're obviously talented, but they're also musically talented. So Wasabi's been working to learn to sing a little bit of a tune. We're going to warm up his voice today. There we go. Tune demand. Wondering, is it anybody's birthday here today? Anyone celebrating? Oh, we've got a birthday at the top. Okay, right here in the front. All right, we've got a couple of you today. Really not that too many though, eh, Wasab? Okay, you'd like you to raise your hand if you have a birthday in August. There we go, quite a few, Wasabi. No, says he's not singing yet. I think we might get him on this next one. Raise your hand nice and high if you have a birthday coming up in the next year or so. There, good enough for you, sir. Shall we sing now? All the words, none of the rhythm, of course. All right, Fernando, we have a tune that he would love to sing for you all here today, but we're going to start off by tuning his voice in as well. I think we've got him in key. All right. Let's see if you guys know this song. Anyone know what tune that is? Oh, Canada, that's right. Now, why is his favorite song in Canada? We don't have any parrot species native to Canada, but all the ones you're meeting here today have hatched here. He is quite proud of that fact. Let's hear that again. All right, not too bad for a little green bird. Give it up for Fernando there.
Raptor is any bird of prey with a hooked beak, sharp talons, strong feet, and great eyesight. So this includes things like our eagles, our hawks, our falcons, and our owls. So coming up next is Soren, our barn owl. Now these birds have incredible hearing and eyesight. They have great hearing due to something called a facial disc, which is a group of feathers around his face in the shape of a heart. You can actually see it is quite prominent on Soren here, and that is because he actually has the best hearing in the entire animal kingdom. Now, these birds also have amazing eyesight, and that is because 75% of their brain, or 75% of their skull is made up of their eyes. This does mean, though, that there's not much room for the brain. So the wise-owled owl isn't actually that wise. Now, if you get a good look at Soren there, you can see he has some dark-colored eyes, and that is because Soren is nocturnal, meaning he is going to hunt at night. Now, if you see an owl with yellow-colored eyes, those are our diurnal species, meaning they hunt during the day. And if you see an owl with orange-colored eyes, I want you to yell as loud as you can what he is. Should be coming out right there. Does anyone know? Good job. She's a bald eagle. Now that is Juno there. She is one of 2 eagle species we have here in Canada. The other being the golden eagle that we actually have a pair right out there. Now these birds are often found around bodies of water. You can find them around lakes and ponds as well as streams and rivers, and that is because they are incredible fishermen, just like Juno showing us there. Now these birds are actually able to carry more than their own body weight with those sharp talons of theirs, but in some cases that fish is going to be a little too heavy, and what these birds have learned how to do is swim. So they're going to take those nice long big wings of theirs and use them like a paddle and actually swim all the way back to shore. Now they do get their name because of that iconic white head. However, they actually don't get this coloring until they're 8 years old. Up until then, they're actually completely brown and look almost identical to our golden eagles. As they start to mature and age, they're going to molt out those juvenile feathers and get the nice white ones. But unfortunately, these birds don't have a great history. In 1978, they were put on the endangered species list due to a pesticide called DDT. Now, DDT was used all across North America. It didn't affect them specifically, but it affected their prey. So it went up in the food chain to the food that they ate and meant they weren't able to digest any of the calcium from it. Now, you and I need calcium to make sure our bones are nice and strong. However, birds need calcium to make the shell of their egg. This unfortunately meant that they were incredibly brittle. So when mom and dad were sitting on top making sure the egg was staying nice and warm so that baby could hatch, they were unfortunately crushing it. Now as the older generations were dying off, they didn't have any new ones to replace it. But DDT is now illegal in all of North America, and due to conservation efforts, a lot like what we do here at African Lion Safari, these birds have made almost a full recovery. As of a few years ago, they've officially been taken off the breeding program here. And with breeding programs come lots and lots of babies. So our next guest is going to answer the age-old question, where do babies come from? And that is with Euro, our European white stork. Now, as their name suggests, they do have their nesting lands in Europe. However, they make a 9-month migration every single year down to Africa and back again. This could possibly coincide with a human pregnancy, thus giving the illusion that they are the bringer of human babies. Now, if you got a good look at him, you can see he has some nice and long orange legs, and that is because Euro is a wading bird, meaning he's going to go out into the water and he's going to spear his prey with that nice long bill of theirs. They tend to eat mostly fish and amphibians, but will also take a nice crustacean. Now, these birds are known to bring good luck and fertility if they create a nest on top of your home. However, as you can see, Euro is a very, very big bird. That means he's going to come with a rather large nest. Their nests can actually weigh up to a ton. Now, if you are superstitious, this may be something you would like to encourage. However, you will probably be doing some renovations afterwards. Now, for our next guest, he is technically a falcon, but he's a little bit of an oddball. So coming up next is the rarest raptor in the world, Johnny, our striated caracara. Now, these birds are from the Falkland Islands, where there are no native trees, so they actually spend almost their entire life on the ground. You can see he's quite comfortable down there, and also quite adorable. Now, these birds don't have any natural predators, so even in the wild, they will walk right on up to you just to say hi. Now, these birds are also incredibly intelligent. They have realized that they can go into the burrows and dens of small mammals and trap them inside for a nice, easy snack, but they can also take things like rocks and flower pots and flip them over to find nice, tasty crumbs. Now, because they are so smart, these birds have realized they can hunt in packs. Now, they have been able to take down prey as big as a sheep, which is absolutely incredible for a 3.5-pound bird. However, the farmers did not appreciate this very much and unfortunately started to hunt the striated caracara, and they almost went into extinction. They are now a protected species, and we are very happy to say there are over. If you want to come and down, hand in your card, and you can come on the field. Perfect, good job, guys. A few more women. Perfect, there we go. Now, you are all incredibly brave, because I have not even told you who you'll be going up against. However, I'm going to keep that a little bit of a secret. Do you guys see the rock wall at the end of the field there? So when I say go, I need you all to run as fast as you possibly can, and then wait there for more instructions. Are you ready? On your mark, get set. Looks like everyone is very eager. Amazing job, guys. You are incredibly speedy. Amazing. Perfect. Now, today, you guys are actually going to be racing against our black vultures. So if you look across the field, you'll see Donovan and Dyson. Now, it may seem silly to have kids racing against such a fast bird in the sky. However, these birds are actually scavengers, so they spend most of their life on the ground. They actually have a flat foot, unlike the rest of the raptors that you've seen today that have a cup-shaped foot. Now, a few rules before we start. Do you guys see the T-shaped pole in the middle of the field there? So that is the finish line. So the first group to tap that with their hand is the winner. Second, we're going to create an invisible line between me and that pole. You guys are going to stay on this side, and the birds are going to stay on this side. Now, the third is the most important rule. Are you listening? I need you all to run as fast as you possibly can without tripping and falling. If you do trip, get up really fast. We do not want the birds thinking you're roadkill. I promise all the kids are safe. Now, who is rooting for our volunteers? What about our black vultures? Hey, a little bit more for the birds you met 2 seconds ago over your kids, but sounds good. Are you guys ready? On your mark, get set, go! There we go. I don't know, it's looking pretty even. Looks like the volunteers might be taking a lead. Let's see, vultures are close behind. Definitely looks like our volunteers are going to be winning this one. Amazing job, guys. Round of applause for our volunteers. They did incredible speed. So coming up next is Lester, our Saker Falcon. Now these birds are able to reach speeds up to 150 kilometers per hour. If you take in consideration, a cheetah can only run 100 kilometers per hour. So they are incredibly fast. Now these birds hunt primarily aerial prey, so we're going to simulate that for you today by having our trainer swing around a lure that looks a lot like a bird and seeing if Lester here is able to catch it. Now what he's going to do is he's going to fly around the field and maybe even above the stands. He's trying to get a feel for the weather conditions, but he's also trying to confuse his prey as much as possible. Now in this case, his prey is our trainer's lure, so if you listen closely, you might be able to hear some bells, and that is actually to help us so we do know what direction he's going in. Now these birds have stripes underneath their eyes, very similar to a cheetah, and that is so they can look directly into the sun. Let's see if he can grab his lure, and he's got it. Now in some cases, these birds wings and covers that prey. He doesn't want anyone else in the sky to try and steal his food from him. Now what our trainer is doing by getting him to give up that lure for a piece of meat on the glove is actually the hardest thing to train in birds. Because he has worked so hard for that lure, he's not going to give it up to just anybody, so it shows just how much our birds trust us. Now by being here today, you have all contributed to conservation efforts. Here at the Bird of Prey Conservation Center, we are working on a breed and release program for the eastern loggerhead shrike, an endangered predatory songbird here in Ontario. Collectively, we have released over 1,000 individuals into the wild, and that would not have been possible without the help of you. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the presentation today.
Turtles are tortoises, a special kind of tortoise that is adapted to live on land, whereas turtles spend a lot more time in the water. This here is Jimmy. Jimmy is a leopard tortoise, which is the 4th largest tortoise species in the world. Now these tortoises get the name leopard tortoise because they've got spots on their shells, but as they grow up, they actually lose these spots, and that shell will be almost completely brown when they're fully grown. He's got plenty of growing left to do. Now these guys are native to Africa, and it gets really hot there, so in order to escape that hot African sun, these guys will burrow underground using their strong important role in seed dispersal, as they like to snack on food, keep moving, and then they pass out those seeds as they move through their environments. But not everyone sees how important these tortoises are to their environment, as they are often seen as an agricultural pest when they're caught grazing on farmers' crops or eating on their food. But by eating on such a wide variety of plants, they do a really important job in preventing any one plant species from dominating an environment, increasing the plant diversity. But I think little Jimmy has done an excellent job walking around super slowly out here today, so let's give it up for him. Now he's going to hang out here just to remind you guys what a reptile with a shell is, because my next question is, what is the only mammal with a shell? I hear crickets, but that's all right. We have no armadillos native to here, but coming on out will be our pair of 3 banded armadillos. Their names are Dora and Diego. Now, these armadillos are native to South America, and as you can see, they're pretty small. But out of all the 20 species of armadillos on our planet, they're actually the only ones that are able to completely roll into a ball, as Dora will be showing off on my side over here. Now, similar to tortoises, they have a hard shell, which they use to protect themselves from their predators. These guys are prey animals, meaning other animals love to snack on them. So that shell, which is made out of the same material as your fingernails, is super strong. It's about as hard as a rock, and it means that only their largest predators in their native habitats, things like jaguars and pumas, can actually actually crack through that shell, whereas most other things aren't strong enough to bite through it. Now, just like tortoises, they do dig burrows underground, and the burrows dug by their larger cousin, the nine-banded armadillo, those ones have been studied, and they found that over 60 different animal species will take advantage of those burrows. Another important thing that these guys do is that they are responsible for insect control. They are insect black and white tegu, and joining us will be Joanna, one of the tegus that lives here on safari. Now, these tegus are native to eastern and central South America. However, they've made themselves quite comfortable in the subtropical Floridian ecosystems. They're introduced to the pet trade as well as by pet owners releasing their unwanted tegus to bring over a bunch of germs and diseases that might not harm those animals, but the other animals that are native to an area actually struggle to fight off these viruses. Now, while their numbers are increasing in the United States, they are facing heavy commercial exploitation in their native habitats as they are hunted for their skins, which are used to make fancy purses and shoes, as well as for human consumption. Tegus are just one example of how easily the balance of an ecosystem. For us, we have an expert recycler coming on out to show you exactly how that's done. Coming in from the back, say, Crow, you want to come out and do your job? Well, when he comes out here, you'll see that he looks a little bit different than our common crows that we have here in North America, just because he is an African pied crow. Now, this is the common crow species you'd see flying around in Africa, and similar to our native North American crows, they have a pretty bad reputation for being gross and disgusting birds. Now, this is simply because they're often seen on roadsides feeding on stuff like garbage and roadkill. And that reputation could not be more wrong. These intelligent birds have learned to get a nice, easy meal from us humans. In addition, while they're feeding on roadsides, they're helping eliminate any harmful germs or diseases that might be present there, keeping all the animals in the ecosystem nice and healthy. Now, just like Crojo, we are passionate about recycling here at Safari. We've switched to biodegradable straws from plastic to paper bags. And if you sat on a park bench today, you might have noticed it was made out of recycled milk jugs. Now, Crojo did an excellent job out here, and his departing message is to always reduce, reuse, and recycle. I mean, if living on out will be our next guest. His name is Easton, and he is an Indian flying fox. Now, don't let that name fool you. He is not a fox that has somehow learned how to fly. It is a type of fruit bat. There's about 1,000 species of bats on our planet, and that bad reputation that they all want to drink our blood and they're all vampires comes from only 3 species that actually feed on blood. Most bats are either insectivores, like a little leathery skin that goes in between each of those fingers. Now, that skin also extends from the sides of their hands all the way down their bodies to their ankles. Now, instead of thumbs, they use them more like hooks in order to climb through the trees that they live in. Of course, as they fly from tree to tree, they also play a role in pollination. They'll pick up pollen in one spot, fly on over, visit a different flower, and drop off the pollen without even realizing their feet, where the females can grow just over 5 feet long. They get the name ball python because they're often found, well, curled up in a ball. Pretty creative name if I do say so myself. But this ball is really helpful for them as it helps them camouflage into their ecosystems, as those patterns along her back make her look like a pile of leaves. In addition, she'll tuck that first third of her body in the middle of that coil in order to protect herself and keep her most vital organs away from any predators. Now, we're not worried for Kelly's safety as she's handling Zippo, because Zippo's not. That means they spend almost their entire lives living up in the canopies of trees. In order to help her while she's moving around, she can use that prehensile tail like an extra hand to grab onto branches and maintain stability. That tail's super strong. She can even hang completely from that tail, freeing up her front arms to grab onto any vegetation that she wants to snack on. Of course, being a porcupine means that her body is covered in sharp, barbed quills. However, it is a common myth that they can shoot those quills out of their body. In fact, the only thing that they can do is puff them up to make those quills stand on end, kind of like what we do when we get cold and get goosebumps. However, while she puffs up her quills, it makes her look a little bit bigger and a little bit more intimidating to any predators. In addition, while they're on end, it makes it a lot easier for those quills to be embedded in case anything starts to mess with her. Now, she is Anne Stomp with me. This here is Annabelle, and Annabelle is a southern tamandua, also known as a lesser anteater. Now, based on her name, how you guys are correct, she does love ants, but she'll also eat termites, maybe even some bees, and if the bees have honey, she would definitely steal some of that, or they'll even eat some really ripe fruit. Everything that she eats has to be smaller than the tip of your finger because that's only about how wide her mouth opens. Now in that little head of hers, she actually has no teeth. But what she does have is a 12-inch long sticky tongue, which she uses to get into anthills and termite mounds and pull those insects out of the ground. Now as I said before, she uses the power of stink to protect her. By show of hands, how many of you guys have smelt a skunk before? Almost all of you guys? Well, imagine if that smell was 4 times as stinky. That is the odor she releases when she feels threatened. However, as long as we tell her she did a great job out here and she looks beautiful today, she won't be spraying any of us. And she might be just taking a little bit of a nap here, and if you want to see a tomato do a yawn, just keep a close eye on her. When they yawn, they just stick out their entire tongue. But she did a great job, so let's give it up for her for sleeping on the job. Our goal here at Wild Wonders is to inspire the next generation of conservationists, so I hope you all have learned a thing or two and can share with your friends and family. We're going to bring some of our animal friends up to the front so you guys can take a closer look, ask any questions, take any pictures. If you're planning on sticking around and want to learn some more about parrots, the next Parrot Paradise presentation begins at 4 p.m. just down the path in the Pets Corner area.